Ari, let's talk about the Odrysian kingdom, a very important part of Old Balkan history, This kingdom came up in the 5th century BC, and for the first time all the Thracian tribes came together. Imagine this kingdom was so big, it covered parts of today's Bulgaria, Greece, and even Turkey. They were quite powerful, influencing everything around them and leaving a big mark on Thracian culture. So in this video, we'll dive deep into the story of the Odrysian kingdom, how it all began, how their society worked, and how they eventually became a part of the Roman Empire. You see, the Odrysian kingdom started growing when the Persian Empire in the Balkans became weak. Around 460 BC, when the Persians were losing their grip, a smart leader named Teres I came into the picture. He brought all the Thracian tribes together and bam! The Odrysian kingdom was born. Then came Sitalces, Teres I's successor, who was very ambitious. He wanted to expand the kingdom, and he did, bringing in many more Thracian tribes under his rule. And hold on, Sitalces was clever, He knew that making friends with powerful people was important. So, he became good friends with Athens, who were a big deal in the Peloponnesian War. This friendship brought the Odrysians right into the middle of all the action happening in Greece, showing everyone how important they had become. Now, the Odrysian kingdom wasn't cut off from the world, you see. They were buddies with the Greeks, doing business and politics together. And because of this friendship, Greek culture, their language, even their way of doing things, became quite popular in the Odrysian kingdom, especially among the rich and powerful folks. But don't think for a second that the Odrysians forgot their own culture. No, sir. What happened was a beautiful mix of both cultures, which you could see in their everyday life. When it came to politics, they had a king, the big boss, ruling over everyone else, like the chiefs in different tribes. Their economy, well, they were doing quite well for themselves. They grew their own food, and they were making good money by trading with the Greeks. And guess what? They also had lots of precious metals in their land, which made them even richer. But you know how it is, nah? Even after such a strong start, the Odrysian kingdom couldn't escape the bad luck that seemed to follow many big empires. Inside the kingdom, there were always fights and disagreements, especially when it came to deciding who would be the next king. And if that wasn't enough, trouble was brewing outside the kingdom too. A new power was growing, Macedon, ruled by Philip II, and later his son Alexander the Great. They were a real threat to the Odrysians. The Macedonians were hungry for land, and they started taking over Odrysian territory. By the 3rd century BC, the once mighty Odrysian kingdom had split into smaller, weaker kingdoms. This made them easy targets for the Romans, who were becoming more powerful in the Balkans. Finally, in the 1st century AD, the Romans took over what was left of the Odrysian kingdom, and that was the end of their independence. Even though the Odrysian kingdom eventually vanished, they left behind a legacy that's still remembered in southeastern Europe. For the Thracian people, it was a turning point. It showed that they could be united and strong under one ruler. They played a big part in bringing Greek culture to Thrace, and their elites became part of the larger Mediterranean world. This exchange of culture enriched both the Thracians and the Greeks. And you know what's amazing? Archaeologists are still finding things that tell us about the Odrysian kingdom. They found grand tombs which show us how they used to bury their dead and what they believed about the afterlife. They also show us that the Odrysians had great taste in art and beautiful things. And that's not all. Excavations have also revealed their settlements, with beautiful mosaics and remains of buildings, giving us a peek into their daily lives and how they planned their cities. All these discoveries, along with old writings and inscriptions, tell us so much about this once glorious kingdom. The Odrysian kingdom may be lost to time, but it still fascinates us, reminding us how complex and connected ancient civilizations were.